And that just leaves me to introduce Lenny.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here tonight. And it's, thanks, Tim, for coming down to Portsmouth to do a share for myself. And then obviously he asked me to come up here. It's only got me. That's the power of Cocaine's Anonymous and the fellowship. It's always about giving back, giving service, and that's what I do. I try to do as much service as I can. Try not to take too much on because I get overwhelmed. You know what I mean? And that's what my life was. My life was based on fear. You know, I was very fearful as a kid. I always go back to the start. Like I believe I was an addict from a very, very early age. I was always restless. It says in the book I was restless, irritable, and discontent. Definitely, I was a real wild child. My mum and dad had me young. My mum was 15, my dad was 16. So they didn't really know how to be parents, and all they ever done was fight, argue, fucking smash things up, excuse my friend, smash things up. It was, they didn't really know how to be a parent, you know, they was young, they sort of, we lived on a council estate, they wanted better. And I was already getting into a lot of trouble at school. I come from a very alcoholic, addicts family. My dad's side there was 7, and on my mum's side there was 6 siblings. So I come from quite a big family in Portsmouth that were, my dad's was an Irish family, heavy drinkers and stuff, and then my mum's side they were like violent, alcoholic, and so I grew up in that. I was the first grandchild on my mum's side, and I grew up around that. You know, I don't know what it was. I loved the smell of alcohol. Like my granddad used to come in drunk, and they used to give me whiskey on my dummy. So I believe I was straight away. I was like, do you know what I mean? And so we moved to Portsmouth. We was just outside Portsmouth on a council estate. My mum and dad wanted to better themselves, so we moved into Portsmouth, and that's where the not fitting in bit come for me. You know, I went to Portsmouth and all the other kids were a little bit better dressed than me. They had, like, their mums and dads had a bit more money, and I got bullied because I didn't get fit in, and I was just playing up. My mum had to come and sit in the school. I was always like really restless and that, and this was like, I was about 10, and like I said, my mum and dad, all they ever done was argue, and my mum smashed things up. She was a bit psychotic, and I just wanted to be out of the house, so I hung around with all the older lot, and then I started getting into, like, obviously drinking straight from an early age, like 11, 12, I found puff, and straight away that was it. I was off and running. It was like, as soon as I took something, it just lit me up. I was like, this is like, I love this, you know. And then it just progressed with the drinking. I was oblivion drinker straight away. I was at the stomach pumps, and I had ambulances. I was like, I was the one that was always drinking more, and I was like falling over, smoking. Like, I just did. Nothing was ever enough for me, you know. And I found crime at about the age. I think I'd done a burglary with my uncle when I was about 13, and I loved it. I loved the effect that gave me, you know. I loved it, and I just wanted more and more. So I started nicking cars, and I was just a serial car thief, and that's where I know the disease of more now. Do you know what I mean? Because if it was like, I'd go out and thieve 1 car, I'd want to thieve 5 cars, and then burglaring houses, and I was just addicted to everything I sort of picked up. I just wanted more and more of it, and I was fast forward a little bit. I was sort of, when I got put in prison because of my crimes and that, got a 3-year sentence, and went to prison, sort of come out, and a lot of my friends I tried heroin in prison, but it just didn't do it for me. I don't know why. It was lucky, very lucky, but I say that, but it doesn't matter what we take, what we use, do you know what I mean? But it's so anyway, I went to prison, come out, and I've met this woman, and I thought, I'm gonna have a normal life, you know. I'm just gonna, I'll be all right now, and so I started getting back into crime, and a lot of my mates were on the heroin, and I noticed they were like robbing off me and all that, and I thought, I don't want this life. I'm different to them, you know. I'm different. I don't, you know what I mean? And before you know it, things started kicking in again, and I eventually got a taxi badge, which I had for about 9 years. I drove taxis, and I was like bang on the whiz. I was doing ease at the weekend. It was like drinking all the time, and every time I drank, because I see violence as a kid, I was very angry. You know, I've done some like shameful things in drink, and I'm not proud of that. You know, but we learned that through coming through the fellowship and doing the work, we have to forgive ourselves. So I forgive myself today for a lot of the stuff that I've done. You know, but yes, like I said, I started like just basically just drinking all the time, and then I was 23 years of age, and I found gambling. Fuck me, excuse my French. That really, it just, I don't know what it was. I was driving my cab on whiz every day. I was taking bombs of whiz, driving my cab, and I was like just gambling all my money, standing at fruit machines, crying, didn't know, you know, I couldn't stop, you know. So that inevitably, I had a kid, a stepdaughter, and inevitably that ruined the relationship, and that was it. 23 years of age. That was the first suicide attempt I had. Took an overdose, and I wanted to die. It wasn't a cry for help. I wanted to die because I did not see any other way out, you know. So I went to gamble. Somebody said about the rooms, and that was at 23 years of age, you know. So I went to Gamblers Anonymous. I went there a few times, listened, thought, yeah, I'm cured now, you know. So I stopped gambling, and as we know, as addicts, we're all addicts, yeah, we know what happens. We fixate on other things, and that's what happened to me, you know. I started fixating on work, you know, over obsessing about work, and then I sort of become a carrier, and then progressed through a bricklayer, and all through this time, drink was a major thing. I'd get drunk, and I'd be like, you know, I'd be getting violent, beating people up, having fights all the time, legs broke, smashed up with things, you know. And then I started doing coke a little bit, and it was recreational as I thought, you know, but it eventually, you know how it ends up. It was just every day, you know, every day drinking, every day using. I had kids, you know, along the way, more kids. I've got 6 kids, you know, so I had a relationship with 4 kids, and it was just painful, you know. It was painful because I didn't know how to stop. Wherever I picked up, I just carried on doing it, and it was for COVID got really bad, and yeah, and I thought, yeah, what a good idea, I'll start serving up. So I got a load of money in, so I starts buying loads of coke, and I'm just sniffing it all the time, you know. And this is when it got to this stage of, listen, I had so many rock bottoms. I jumped off a bridge, you know, and that didn't stop me, you know. Woke up in hospital, like, yeah, it just didn't stop me, you know. I don't know, you can have as many rock bottoms, but it's, I suppose when you're actually done with it, you go into the rooms, when you find the rooms, and actually I listen for once in life, because I never listened to anybody, you know. I thought I knew best, my way or no way, you know, and that was how it was. And like I said, COVID got really bad. I was sniffing, I was taking door handles off. I had twin boys at the time, babies, and I wouldn't even pick them up because I was so fucked all the time, you know. She was like, pick the kids up. I'm like, I don't want to pick them up. Taking the door handles off, think people's talking. Just the psychosis just got on another level, you know. And like I said, I come from a very addict family. I've got 2 cousins died of heroin. My other uncle, he's in a wheelchair, still smoking crack pipes, burnt all his hands. And they just didn't find a way out. And to be honest with you, I was walking through, this just after COVID, I was walking through Somerstown in Portsmouth, and this bloke was out, so there was a church, and I was walking along, and he was like, "Oh mate, you're all right?" And he knew my cousin. He was like, and I went, "Do I look all right?" I said, "I've just been chucked out of the missus, blah blah blah." He went, "Well, there's a meeting there, mate," and I'm like, do you know what I mean? I knew from then, and I was what, 40, 41 at the time, I think. Like I said, loads of free things on my life, you know. And he said, "Do you want to go to a meeting?" And so I went to a meeting on the next Friday. He phoned me up. He said, do you want to go to this meeting? So I went to this meeting in King's Church. And he goes, do you want me to take you down? He said, do you want me to start taking free work? I'm thinking, what the fuck's that? Like, big meeting, it's big meeting like this, you know what I mean? And he's like, do you want me to take you for the work? And I'm thinking, what's the work, you know? And so we went down the seafront, and he's got the big book, and he's read the doctor's opinion to me. And do you know what? My ears I was like a dog. My ears just went ping. For the first time, I actually like really took something. I thought, Jesus, I've got an allergic reaction to alcohol, drugs. No wonder. It just hit me. I don't know. It was like the light bulb moment. Would I have done it if somebody had told me it 10 years ago? Was I ready? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I always wish I'd done it younger, but it don't matter when you find the rooms. What's the most important thing is that we can recover, you know, and that's what. From that moment, I went down there. My ears went up, but what happened? You know, did I go back to the meeting? No, I listened, but I did hear that. But I just wasn't ready, and it didn't take me long after, and I had a massive consequence in my house. And my little girl come downstairs, and she was like, see me, I was smashed. I was on a 3-day bender, and it was over the bank holiday weekend, and she come down, and she was the next day. She was like, "Daddy, please don't ever drink again," because obviously she didn't know I was doing drugs, you know. And I went over to my mum and dad's. My dad had been in AA for, I don't know, 10, 11 years. And we ain't got the best relationships, you know, but I've made amends to him like we do in the thing. But I was there, and I was, you know how it is, self-pity, wallowing, my life's over, my relationship's over, I don't want to live, what am I going to do? This is what I do, do you know what I mean? Every time things get bad, I'm like, it's his fault, her fault, this fault, blah, blah, blah. And so, yeah, he said, don't you think, Lenny, it's about time you go and get out for your drinking? And I'm like, he goes, you do know drinking's your problem. So I went to Alcoholics Anonymous on a Sunday evening, and went in this room, and there was like little old ladies there, and I've never associated with people like it, you know. I always hung around with lunatics, like-minded people like myself, want to be round people that are as nutty as me, wanted to get out their nut as much as me, you know. That's what I associated with, and it changed my life, you know. I went there, kept going. Got a sponsor. I didn't get sponsored for a little while, but I got a sponsor, and he took me through the work in 5 weeks, yeah. And I'll never forget, like, doing a step 3, because that's why I always say the step 3 prayer. I try to do it most days. Some days I miss it, you know. I'm not perfect. We don't work a program. But I just remember he was a bricklaying foreman from London. He's 24 years sober, and we done the step 3 prayer, and you know. And I don't know what it was. The next day I went into the supermarket first thing in the morning on the way to work, and I was like, fucking hell, I feel different. I don't know what it was, but I felt different. And like I said, I started doing the work. Life was getting better as it was, you know, going to meetings, doing a little bit of service, not as much as what I do now. And yeah, life got busy, didn't do as many meetings, and started going on the way to work, nicking stuff, you know, little Red Bulls, sandwiches. Me being an addict, it got progressive, and before you know it, I was like taking bin liners of stuff, and you know, but I know everyone laughs, but that's me, and I'm lining it up in my cupboards, you know, like the over obsessiveness, you know, and I'm lining it up, and my mum come in my house one day, and she went, Lenny, what is going on? And I went, what's up, Mum? She went, you're lining stuff out in your cupboard, like your aerials and your fucking... And I'm like, well, yeah. I said, yeah, it's a bag, you know, take it. Just giving it away, because I was becoming a kleptomaniac. Well, and that's, listen, I've been a prolific shoplifter for years, yeah? So anyway, I'll fast forward, because I know I ain't got loads of time, but... So... I sort of, things weren't going brilliant, and obviously I met my partner, Kelly, and I was like, we were going to AA, but she does AA, and we was going to AA, and it's just something wasn't right, and I was, you know, listen, I am petrified, drink, drugs, gambling. I'm petrified of it all because I know it's life or death for me. I know full well, yeah. I don't stop once I start things, you know. That once I start and obsess about them, I'm obsessive. I'm the hopeless type in the book, you know. And the book tells me if I run my life on south, which I do you know what I mean? I still do it to this day. It's progress, not perfection. Sometimes I want perfection, but it ain't like that, you know. This stuff's hard, you know. It ain't easy, but so like I said, I went back. Funny enough, a couple of my mates who in CA kept saying to me over the time, "Come on, Len, come to a meeting." So I went to a men's meeting which Tim shared at, and it just changed me. You know, look, I still struggle, but it's a daily thing, innit? If we don't do daily stuff. Which I don't always, you know. I've got sponsees now. One has just gone through the steps. He's done a share the other day. And do you know what? That feeling what drugs and that gave me, yeah. When he was sat next to me and he was sharing and he went, you know what, I owe you so much. And I'm like, you know, you don't owe me nothing, you know. Because he was near on crying, I was near on crying. It's my first, he wasn't my first sponsee, the other one went out there. But what I'm saying is this stuff is like a gift, you know, it's a gift. But it ain't easy. Like I don't find it easy because my mind tells me all sorts, you know. My mind plays tricks on me, so what I have to do, I have to be very careful, very mindful. Am I always? No, I'm not. But I do know one thing, yeah. Like I'm so grateful that I'm sat here tonight. I was very fearful, but I had a little pray up before the meeting started. I sat there and prayed. And like I said, I do the step 3 prayer every day. Well, not every single day, but I do generally do it at most days, you know what I mean? Like my mornings are like, I get a bit of time in the mornings and I need to do a little bit of stuff. I've been writing stuff down and because if we don't look after us, it's about us. I didn't realise, the spiritual side of this illness, If I'm spiritually well, and what I mean is I was saying it to Dan before, I was so dishonest, My dishonesty was unbelievable, you know. So I've got to start getting honest around life. If I start being honest and living my life honestly, I've got a lot of debt that I've run away from for the rest of all my life. And I'm trying to get, like today I made phone calls, you know, because I ain't perfect. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm perfect, but I do know one thing, I'm recovering, and I haven't picked up a drink or drug in 4.5 years, you know, and that's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's for any newcomers, just keep coming. It works. You just got to work it, you know. And like, I was listening to a step 1 share on the way down here. Like it was beautiful, you know, because I love step 1. You know, my life was so unmanageable, but today my life's a lot more manageable. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. My kids are benefiting from it. You know, my partner. Like life's wonderful, but I still get that. I want more. You know. And that's where I've got to slow down, you know. But yeah, I'm really grateful to be here tonight. It's a pleasure. And like I said, any newcomers, just keep coming back. If it takes however long, or if you're relapsing in your thing, this is where the gifts are at, you know. It's like being sat here. I've got warmth on this seat. It's cold when I come in here, but I feel really hot now. Not like I've got a big coat on, but you know, yes, it's a pleasure being here tonight, and I'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Lenny.